what's up guys, it's MWG here. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 7. So you just bought your new iPhone 7, you're really happy with it, and all of a sudden this crazy new iPhone 10 comes out. Is it worth the money? Is it worth dropping $1,000? So we're going to do a speed test between the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 10, and we're going to see, is the iPhone 10 really that much better than the iPhone 7 Plus? And if so, is it worth spending the extra $1,000 for it? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the iPhone 7 and we're going to run a list of applications that you would use on a daily basis. Like, for example, you use Snapchat, or you use Instagram, or Safari, or Messages, or whatever. So we're going to run it once, and then we're going to lap it, and then we're going to run it a second time. The reason we're running it a second time is to check the RAM management. Does it hold applications in the background for a long time, or does it just kill them as soon as it starts opening new ones? The reason we're running it the first time is to check the processing speed. How fast can the processor actually open the application? At the end, we're going to conclude, and we're going to say, is it really worth the extra money to buy this new phone? Does it actually make your phone that much faster, or is it just a gimmick? So let's get to it. So before doing the speed test, we're going to do a few benchmarks. We're going to start off with Geekbench, and we're going to see the CPU scores, and we're going to compare the iPhone 10 to the iPhone 7. So the Geekbench scores are in, and you can see that the iPhone 10 is about 700 points better on the single core and about 4,000 points better on the multi-core. So although it's faster on the single core, it's much faster on the multi-core. So that's where you're going to see most of the performance increases. Now, we're going to run an Antutu benchmark to test the GPU and see the GPU differences in the scores. So we're going to start both the tests and just see what kind of scores we're looking at for each device. So on the iPhone 10, we get a score that's about 40 to 45% better than that on the iPhone 7, and that is a significant difference. So according to these benchmarks, the iPhone 10 should really blow the iPhone 7 out of the water. It should be some astronomical changes, so we're just going to have to see if that's actually what ends up happening or not. So we're going to clear all the apps out of the app switcher, and then we're going to start the clocks on both the devices, and here we go. So we start, and the iPhone 10 already starts to pull ahead of the iPhone 7. Not by much, but by a little bit. It's already 2 apps ahead. And now it's really flying through the apps. The iPhone 7 is lagging behind a little bit. And this is obviously all due to the raw power of the A11 Bionic. Those 4,000 points and even that 700 points, although it doesn't seem like that much, that's a pretty hefty percentage, almost 15-20% higher than the score that was there before on the iPhone 7. So you can see that the iPhone 10 it's utilizing that performance. Now on some other speed test videos in the past, the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus actually were very close to the iPhone 10, but that was because the iPhone 10 wasn't well optimized for iOS 11, but as they're optimizing it, you can see that the gap is definitely widening between them. And the iPhone 7 just now laps. It's 10 seconds slower than the iPhone 10. And the iPhone 10 is just finishing up on the last row of applications. The iPhone 7 is only halfway through in the second lap, showing that the iPhone 10 is utilizing its RAM very well and very efficiently on iOS 11. And there we go, the iPhone 7 is getting on the last row of applications, and it finishes up with a score that is about 26% faster than the iPhone 7. So after running the speed test, I don't really think I could justify upgrading from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 10, unless if you really need the battery life. The battery life on the iPhone 10 is significantly better than the iPhone 7, so you really cannot justify the upgrade simply for the processing power. Now, benchmarks might say differently, but benchmarks don't really indicate real-world performance, as we can see in this test. If it were me, I would hold on to my money, save up for next year, and I guess we'll be here again next year seeing if it's worth it to make the upgrade then. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please like. If you hated it, I mean, there's the other button. But if you want to sub. Now I know you guys might be thinking, okay, who even are you? MWG, why would I subscribe to you? But let me tell you, if you do, I promise you won't regret it.